Well, Pride Month is officially here. Get your sunglasses, gouge your eyes out because they, whoever they are, have updated the Pride flag. And it is the most disgusting, ugly, but ugly flag I've ever seen. And this is something that might actually unite the Democrat gays, the Republican gays. Gays all across the political spectrum have come together because the new Pride flag we take no responsibility for, okay? Us normal gays, as JD Vance said, I'm going to be honest, normal gays, you know what they are. We take no responsibility for this flag. Whatever happened to the good old Roy G. Biv rainbow flag, come one, come all to the Halloween ball, sing kumbaya? That flag worked for decades. But here's the thing with these liberal gays and the LGBTs. If you give them an inch, they're gonna want 10, okay? They are never happy. They are going to keep sticking things on this flag like a freaking ugly Christmas sweater. That is what it's becoming. So this old flag that we used to love was simple. It was enough. But now they've redone it, and I'd like to put the new flag back up on the screen for 1 second because I'm not done eviscerating this new flag. So this new flag, you've got horizontal rainbow lines, which look great. They look normal. Then they've decided to do these like diagonal, these diagonal arrow lines in baby blue, brown, black, and then they put this random circle on the flag. I don't know what the circle symbolizes. Is it a hole? Is it a circle? I'm scared to ask what the hell it symbolizes. But this new flag, it is ugly. Nobody likes it. Liberals, Republicans, independents, libertarians, every single gay is coming together to say they do not like this flag. But us normal gays, like I said, we take no responsibility for this. Now, in doing research for this episode, we discovered there are about 500 pride flags, apparently. There are a million different pride flags because, like I said, you can't please these liberals. So let's put all these new flags up on the screen, right? You've got like a demisexual flag, like a pansexual flag, a rubber flag. I don't even know what all of this is, right? I am a gay man in media. I have no idea what all of this crap is, okay? The rainbow flag used to be enough. Gay rights used to mean we want to be treated like everybody else. That's what the gay rights movement was for decades. We want gay marriage. We want equal pay. We want all of this, yada, yada, yada. 10 years ago, because of the Obergefell Supreme Court decision in the summer of 2015, let me make sure I get that right because I was in high school, but the Obergefell Supreme Court decision in 2015 gave gays marriage, okay? But because these organizations like Human Rights Campaign and these other nonprofits, they needed another way to fundraise because for decades, they'd been fundraising off the fact, we got to get gay marriage, we got to codify and get gay marriage all across all 50 states. Now that we have gay marriage, they need some new reason to be a victim. They need a new reason to fundraise. And that is now the T, right? Apparently, trans rights are being taken across the country. This is the big discussion this Pride Month. I'm here to tell you, I don't know what rights trans people don't have right now. Literally, Trump, the administration, nobody cares. If you're a grown adult and you want to be trans, let your flag fly. If you're a grown man and you want to become a woman, you want to go get some surgeries, do what you want to do. You're an adult. It's a free country. The problem is that trans folks, more than ever before, this never used to be an issue to the last few years. They want to trans kids. They want to push trans ideology onto minors and young, impressionable children, right? They're teenage girls getting mastectomies because these sick doctors are telling them they were born in the wrong body and they're 16-year-old girls getting their breasts cut off. I hate to even talk about it right now. We also see more and more men like A.B. Hernandez infiltrating women's sports, and girls like Peyton McNabb are getting hurt. So the gay LGBT movement used to be, we want equal treatment. Now the movement is basically, we want special treatment, okay? We want to decide on a Monday, we're going to identify as the opposite sex, and we want entree into women's locker rooms, women's sports, and if you don't call us the right pronouns, then you're a bigot and you're transphobic. That is basically what they've done to weaponize the trans movement. Us normal folks, we don't want anything to do with that baloney, and there are a lot of trans folks who just want to blend in and be normal trans adults, and they think it's wrong too. They don't want men and women's sports either. But like I said, you give them an inch, they're going to want to take a mile, they're going to want all 10. And there's also this narrative, right, that Trump is taking rights away from gay people, he's taking trans rights away. Trump was the only president who went to the White House in 2017, January of 2017, supporting gay marriage. If you guys go and look at the clips of Barack Obama, Joe Biden, when they were on the campaign trail in '08, they did not support same sex marriage, right? Donald Trump, whether people want to admit it or not, was the first person to go to the White House supporting same sex marriage. But I'm excited for this Pride Month, right? A lot of companies, they're opting out of this ugly new pride flag. And like I said, I don't know what the hell is going on with the design, if it was designed by Helen Keller. I don't know what's happening with this pride flag, but a lot of companies are opting out of all of this buffoonery and tomfoolery. And I'm glad we're not going to have topless trans people on the White House lawn anymore, like we had with Joe Biden. Joe Biden, he didn't want to sit down with troops, people who had served our country. Joe Biden wanted to sit down with Dylan Mulvaney, and he wanted to have topless trans folks on the White House lawn. Where is the decorum? Where is the decorum? Where is the couth? Where is the class? It is gone. Now, we'll be tracking Pride Month for the rest of the month, but I have to point something else out right now. So we saw this morning Governor Tim Walz. You guys remember Mr. Jazz Hands Tim Walz, who walks into every room like Bob Fosse. Well, he has declared it's Pride Month in Minnesota. He wants to host parades. He wants to have parties. He wants to have fun. And I'm sure the man does because he is gayer than the Fire Island production of Rent. Okay? There's no one gayer on earth than Tim Walz. He makes me look like a masculine, straight bodybuilder. Okay? That is what Tim Walz does. So, Tim Walz, you're a joke. Thank God you're not vice president right now. The last thing I want to say about this topic is this. A poll also came out from Gallup, a Gallup poll, that support for same-sex marriage has dropped a little bit, right? Support for LGBT rights, they've gone down a tiny bit, and everybody wants to point the fingers and say, Republicans, it's your fault. You're the reason the support has gone down. I'm here to tell you this. There has to be some culpability and responsibility from LGBTQIA, XYZ, R2D2 people across the country, because the reason support is slightly dipping right now is because you're pushing men into women's sports. You're pushing trans ideology onto kids. You're having pride parades where you're naked out in the street, balls to the wall in front of children. Now, the parents should not have their kids there in the first place. I used to enjoy Pride in 2017 and 18. We would go out, we would dance, we would have fun. It'd be a beautiful parade. You go to a lot of these parades now, they are literally naked dancing through the street. And this is what I'm saying. It's not that they want equal rights like everybody else. They want some type of special treatment, because if every Tom, Dick, and Harry on a random Monday went out there and was naked willy-nilly on the street, they would be arrested. But because in the name of pride, they think they're allowed to run down the street naked or on dog leashes with dog masks on in front of children, right? So this is what has happened. The radicals, the radical leftists have co-opted the entire pride LGBT rights movement. They've made this ugly, this very ugly flag that none of us want anything to do with. They're going down the street naked. And here's the thing. If you guys want to go have naked parties in private, do what you want to do behind closed doors. But coming down Fifth Avenue, okay, or coming down Main Street across America, naked in front of children, is why support is dropping. And you have to look in the mirror at some point and take responsibility. People didn't just suddenly turn into bigots overnight. Most adults, if you travel across this country, have been to almost every 50 state, almost all 50 states in the last 2 years. No one really has a problem with gay people. Literally, do what you want to do. People want to pay their bills, raise their kids, put food on the table, and go to work and have life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Most Americans do not give a rat's ass if you're gay. You want to go be gay? Do it. Love it. No problem for most Americans. I've been welcome in the Republican Party wholeheartedly. But that's because I believe in common sense. These radicals on the left who want to run down the street naked and push trans onto children and men and women's sports, they are ruining it for the rest of us who are all being lumped in, and they've also ruined the pride flag.